Welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a romance reading that I am pulling a day later than usual, but this is December 19th here, and this is for your guidance for your romance journey for this week. As always, this is a general collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. God, what does this collective need to know for their romance journey this week? The moon. You know, this is interesting because I was just thinking as I was shuffling, we have the equinox coming up here in, gosh, I don't know if it's on the 20th this year or the 21st, but within the next day or two here, we have the equinox coming up. And I'm just drawn to the fact that the moon is like her in this darkness of nighttime, right? Kind of shining this torch, this light of truth, this kind of fire that's keeping these wolves at bay. It's interesting because at least where I live in the northern hemisphere, right, this equinox here in December is like the darkest day of the year, right? So I'm feeling like if you're in this collective, you might be going through kind of like a rough time or almost like a dark night of the soul on your romance journey. But I feel like you're getting through it with this like blazing torch. Like there's some sort of truth or passion or something that you're kind of holding so strong to that's really kind of like an anchor for you. I actually get like a really grounded feeling from this. It's almost like kind of embracing your power, and that empowerment is the thing that's kind of anchoring you. It's funny that I just said embracing your power, and then here comes the magician, right? Like the master manifester of the tarot. Yeah, I feel that. There's something here that you're very like passionate about, or very like loyal to, almost like a path or a project or a person. Obviously with this being a romance reading, right? It could be that you're sort of I don't know what the expression is. Is it like holding a candle? She's literally holding a torch, right? Like holding a candle for someone. So this could be like if you're working on manifesting a romantic relationship and it has not shown up yet, that you're just keeping the faith. You still kind of have that fire burning, for that person, even in the darkness where, maybe you're not currently seeing any movement, or you and that person are not coming together. I feel like the magician is you just in your power, kind of working behind the scenes on like continuing to work on manifesting this connection. We've been getting the Tower a lot lately. That's interesting. We've also gotten the Eight of Wands multiple times. Oh my goodness. Talk about sudden fast movement. That's very interesting. So the moon and the magician are very much feeling to me like you, like I was saying, kind of in this place where you're holding that torch. There's something kind of grounding you that you're really focused on, that you're really loyal to, within like this romantic connection. And you're working on manifesting it. You're working on kind of your own personal power here and making it manifest into your 3D reality. The Tower and the Knight of Wands are both cards of like sudden fast movement. So I'm really drawn on the Tower to like this crown that's falling off the top of the tower. If there's like, it almost feels like, okay, so on the twin flame journey, my spiritual teachers talk about how you never want to put your twin flame on a pedestal. Cause it sort of gives this weird like energy of idolizing them, right? They're just a normal human being, right? It's like the most normal and natural thing to be with your twin flame. But I'm really drawn to that crown, where if there is a place in your life where you're idolizing like a person or an energy, or it could even be like a romantic ideal that you're hoping to achieve, I feel like that suddenness of the lightning bolt kind of coming in and destroying that, just knocking that away, that there's no reason to have anybody up on a pedestal here. That you're like equal, that maybe you're kind of coming into your power, and maybe you're kind of taking this person down from their pedestal, and there's kind of like an equalizing happening here. The Knight of Wands is just this passionate impulsive, kind of free-spirited, creative, really fast-moving energy. So the suddenness of the Tower plus the fast-moving energy of the Knight of Wands, I feel like for folks in this collective, there's going to be some sort of very big, sudden incoming change. So out of the cards that we have here on the table, 3 of the 4 of them are major arcana cards, which, as I've explained before, it's like that energy where it's more like the universe intervening. And as always, the universe does not take away your free will, right? You have the choice to participate in this energy or not. But the universe kind of more intervening. So to get you kind of aligned with your highest good, with your destiny, there's something here that you're calling in. I feel like the universe is sort of, I just feel like this Tower card is like this energy of getting blown out of the water, and then you're like going to be quickly moving kind of on the correct path. It's a cool energy. What else does this collective need to know, God, for their romance journey? So I hesitate to ever say like, oh, your person's coming in, or like that's what this shift is. Everybody's situation is different, right? And I'm reading for multiple people here. So, I mean, even if it was a personal reading, I think I'd be hesitant because we all have free will. So the way that I read the cards, they kind of, in terms of the future, like what's coming, they can only tell me what is likely to happen if you continue on exactly the same path that you're on right now. But the second that you make a free will decision that kind of changes your path a little bit, then all of a sudden the outcome, there's like unforeseen changes down the road or whatever. It's difficult to use tarot as like, a 100% predictor of like the future, especially the kind of the farther into the future you're reading. So this has an energy for me of a huge change in your romantic situation. For some of you, it might resonate that this is a person coming in. I'm really drawn to the fact that the only non-major arcana card is a person, and it's a passionate person. Like this is the guy, I don't know, I just feel a lot of passion from him. I don't think I probably need to explain that anymore. So for some of you, this could represent an actual incoming person. For some of you, it could represent like an incoming energy into your life or maybe into your romantic relationship. 4 of Pentacles and Temperance. I'm actually feeling like both of these are about balance and moderation. That's interesting. So the 4 of Pentacles card can be a little bit around like the miser, right? That kind of miserly energy where he's sort of clinging or holding a little too tightly to what is known. I feel like Temperance is saying that there's a balance here, that you don't have to go completely the direction of the Knight of Wands where you're just completely free-spirited and 100% open to, whatever's new. There's like a balancing here sort of between being open to this huge change that's represented in this row here with the Tower and the Knight of Wands. There's a balance between that and what you're doing right now. Let me think of like what's coming to me is, for example, all right, so let's say that in your particular situation, this is representing you doing a lot of inner work, you holding the faith during this sort of dark night of the soul that you're going through with this relationship. And then let's say that this is like that your person coming in, right? Kind of knocking them down off that pedestal, recognizing that they're just a person, just like you, right? That sort of powers equalizing, again, that balancing from the Temperance card. I feel like there's a balance between you kind of allowing this person in and also maintaining a very strong sense of yourself and like strong boundaries there, and continuing to be independent and be true to yourself, be authentic. It's almost like an overcoming of people-pleasing energy that's coming to me. That's a cool feeling. So really making sure that, like if you were putting that person still on a pedestal, right, that would be imbalanced. If you're recognizing that both of you are equals, that's like that balancing, I think, that the Temperance is. So being able to hold on to this empowerment that you're having, this really grounded, like inner strength, this, it's almost like a singular vision that the woman in this moon card is having, really kind of like within her emotional depths, right? That's what the moon represents, is really going deep within your psyche, being able to still maintain the depth of that connection with yourself and the confidence and the power that's kind of radiating off of both of those cards. This is awesome energy. There's, if you're in this collective, there's definitely something very sudden coming in for you. That the Tower and the Knight of Wands just keep chattering at me. I keep hearing it like the universe is telling me phrases like knock you off your feet, knock you off the pedestal, like sweep you away, like sudden explosion. I don't know. I just keep hearing different ways at the end that my inner voice is kind of chattering to me about the energy. I love too, like, so these cards here, there's like quite a bit of fire and kind of some grayness here. And the Temperance is so peaceful. So like none of these feel particularly peaceful to me. Even the Knight of Wands, who has this beautiful open blue sky, right? I'm really drawn to this sunset. It looks more to me like lava. It looks like fire. And he's the knight of the fire suit. So it's a beautiful energy. But it feels like a lot of change, a lot of movement, and a lot of passion. Like I feel him coming towards the camera. This is like a big time incoming energy. So to have her kind of wrapping up this side of the situation, I just feel like she's so peaceful. So I feel like if you're in this collective, you're going to be coming to that place of peace where I think as you're recognizing your own value and coming into your own self-worth and embracing your own power, that's going to feel more peaceful to you as opposed to having that other person on a pedestal. Really doing that balancing and kind of coming into this realization that you're just as wonderful as they are, right? You're just as powerful as they are. You're just as magnificent as they are. And maybe they even see you the way that you see them. It could be kind of like a balancing act on both sides, but she's so peaceful. She's so peaceful. It feels really nice, which is kind of an odd way to wrap up this energy because it's so, I mean, the Tower is not a particularly peaceful card, right? But I feel like whatever this shakeup is, whatever this movement or like this huge change in perspective, it might feel a little bumpy to go through it in the moment, and it's fast. It's almost like it sweeps you off your feet. But by the end of it, I feel like you're in this really lovely, balanced, peaceful place, and that feels very nice. What advice do you have for this collective here? The Empress, the Sun, and the Six of Pentacles. Nice. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so the Empress, I mean, I feel like this is you. Whether you're masculine or feminine, it's irrelevant, right? It's just the gender on the cards. But she is so peaceful. She completely knows her value. The Empress is always portrayed just sort of sitting, lounging in her throne, kind of basically waiting for the universe to bring her good to her. So she's not scrambling, she's not chasing, she's not desperate. She is completely surrendered and just completely confident in like the harvest, the abundance, right? That's all around her. And then the Sun is just the most joyful energy of freedom, freedom and success. I'm really drawn to the light and how different the energy of these three cards is. So different than the energy on this side. It's like I was saying that this Temperance kind of brings you to a place of peace. And I feel like this is a bit of the universe showing you what's in store for you. Is you being surrendered, you being in your divine power and really recognizing how special you are, how unique you are, that you can do your inner work and just claim your value and claim your good and sort of surrender to allowing the universe to bring that to you. And that feels like victory and success and freedom and just like that beautiful like warmth of the sun. It's interesting that we got the Six of Pentacles because I feel like it's related to the Four of Pentacles and the Temperance card here. So the Six of Pentacles is basically, this figure here is sort of doling out resources, right? So it's like he's the wealthy person, he's the abundant person, and he gets to decide, which kid gets which pentacles, or if he wants to share them with the kids at all. It kind of feels again like that balancing energy. I'm really feeling called to say, like, this is you. The number of major arcana cards that we have in this reading is a lot. And I've used this deck a million times. They're like not in order or anything like that. This is a lot of major arcana cards. So if you're in this collective, this is huge for you. This is a lot of kind of life-changing stuff that's happening and energy that's coming in from the universe. But this is you. You are like so powerful and so magical as you're kind of moving into, healing into your true divine self. It really feels again like nobody else has command over your resources. Like you don't have to worry about like kind of clinging to the past or being afraid to lose your good. The only way that this card would be true to me is if this guy was God, because God is basically the boss, right? And like God is the one who is constantly flowing all of our good to us. But there's like a misperception, right? A misperception of lack, that like there's only so much good, there's only so much joy, there's only so much peace, there's only so much love or passion. But that's simply not the case. We're only limited by basically our own illusions, right? Our own kind of hang-ups or feeling unworthy or feeling like we'll never have what we want. But I just feel like this man is representing God, and all you have to do is like put your hands out, right? And say that you're open to receiving. And just notice the Five of Pentacles on the bottom, which is that card of being left out in the cold. Like this is what happens if you're not open to receiving. Is you can't get any of the good stuff, right? So I definitely feel that there's like a surrender energy here. And it's almost like you have to surrender to how awesome you are. And you just sort of have to deal with it. Like there's like unworthiness blocks there, or you feel like that's like too arrogant, or, ego's telling you that you can't think good things about yourself because you'll get too big-headed or whatever. Like that's all a bunch of nonsense. You are a divine child of God. You're perfect. And it's safe for you to receive like all of your good. I really feel that. You just have to surrender and be awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this is related to what I was just saying. So the 10 of Wands, you can see in the card, like it's this guy carrying this burden, right? I'm always drawn in this deck to the fact that there's like flowers growing on the wand. It feels like putting that burden down. So anywhere that you're having blocks around feeling like you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not capable, maybe that you're too broken, no one will ever want me, like any of that sort of internal chatter, like believing that you always fail, being able to kind of surrender those burdens in whatever way resonates for you. So like for me, I like to talk to God about it, and I just literally picture him like putting his hands out, and then I just like put the burdens in his hands. Maybe for some people, it would be doing like a deep breathing and kind of releasing it and blowing it away through your breath, right? Or if you live near the water, sometimes it can be nice to just go put your feet in the water and kind of imagine like the water washing those limiting negative beliefs away. But I feel that card is very much speaking to me of finally like releasing that burden. And that burden is just not seeing yourself clearly, not believing that, you're so worthy and you're so powerful. The Justice card, I love that here. It's another major arcana card. It's a really strong one. I feel like the universe is saying that this change that's coming in is bringing you justice. I wonder if maybe if you're in this collective, maybe you've had a pattern of manifesting relationships that have been unfair, that have been one-sided, that have in some way kind of been like lopsided. I really feel that the Temperance and the Six of Pentacles are very much bouncing off that Justice card for me. And I feel like she's very much saying like, I'm here now. Things are going to be balanced, right? There's no more of this imbalance, this back and forth, this one person's better than the other, anything like that. I feel like the universe is really kind of bringing you into alignment here. It's a great energy. It's very powerful. What else does this collective need to know, God? I feel like all I hear for the Nine of Swords is don't worry about it. Just stop worrying about it. So the Nine of Swords is the card of, it's like big time anxiety, right? Someone kind of staying up all night, not even able to sleep because of all of those worries. They're kind of stacked up over her. In this deck, it's just, there's like a little, I don't know. I guess it's not a bolt. Yeah, they're kind of just like stacked up on top of each other. I was going to say this is how they're fixed onto the wall, but I don't think that they are. Yeah. I feel like it feels like pressure to me. Like these swords are kind of pressing down on her. So yeah, I just feel like it's a place to have faith. I think that's in this situation that I'm channeling here. I feel like it's just about having faith. Like there's got to be someone who you eventually are with that is, is not fitting that abusive pattern or is not fitting that pattern of imbalance or anything like that, right? There, eventually you heal enough that you're just not manifesting that type of relationship in your reality anymore. The Four of Swords, she's always interesting to me. I don't know what she has in her hands. In this deck, she kind of reads a little different to me than in the traditional tarot. I don't know why, but I'm just super drawn to these plants in her hand. I feel like she went out and like sliced him up with this sword. And now she's just looking at us like, what? I don't know. I don't know if there's like some sort of action that you need to take that's kind of like a small action. But those plants are really sticking out to me. It's like a harvest. It's like that harvest energy, but kind of a small one. And I'm feeling confused too. So I actually wonder if maybe the advice of this card is that you don't need to take any action unless it's something that you're really called to do or that's kind of obvious or like really makes sense to you. That actually makes way more sense to me. So the Four of Swords is a card of rest. I'm very much feeling that. This 10 of Wands, 9 of Swords, and 4 of Swords, like it's putting down those burdens of those sort of limiting or negative beliefs or self-talk, being able to release kind of these places where anxiety is sort of pressing down on you, and not feeling like you have to run around doing a bunch of like little things to sort of like make something happen. I feel like the Four of Swords card is very much advising to just relax, like just rest. It almost feels like anything that you try to do would be an energy leak. So as always, please do what resonates for you. Use your judgment. Do what you feel called to do. That's just the energy that I am channeling here in these cards. But I do feel that a lot. There's like a rest coming in for you. That feels really nice. What a cool reading. 10-11, take action. That's really funny. It's the opposite of what I just said. Hope, new beginning, fresh start, lifestyle, purpose, spiritual awakening. This is a call to action to move forward. The sooner you get going, the sooner you will accomplish what you set out to do. Those with patience will eventually reap the rewards of their perseverance. So I feel like that's the universe course correcting me a little bit on my read there. I do feel like there is a period of rest here that is needed. I feel like there's a weariness. There's a bit of a weariness around this 10 of Wands that I feel like will be helpful for you to heal from. So taking that sort of time to recover from that feeling of carrying the burden, from the anxiety, kind of feeling like you're running around doing a bunch of little things that don't really have a productive result. But then the universe is calling me out on that, reminding me after this rest period happens and this healing happens, then it's go time, because we have these huge cards over here that something big is going to change. So it almost feels like an energy of like rest while you can, heal while you can. And then this sort of big change energy comes in, at which point I think the universe is going to burst into action for you. I don't even feel like, I feel like you're going to know. It will be extraordinarily obvious to you when is the time to rest and when is the time to move. Like, you would not be standing next to this tower and not notice this happening, right? Like, it's a huge wake up call. It's a huge change coming in. All right, we got two more. 1122, great shift. As I was just saying that, personal growth, spiritual development, and manifesting goals, oneness, connection, and completion. First, focus on the positive changes occurring due to your efforts. Then expand your horizons and permit yourself to try something new. So many positive shifts are in store for you. The world around you is changing in favor of your intentions. So yes, we've already talked about that, right? With this change energy. What's really sticking out about that to me is that they mention your intentions at the end. So I feel like if you do any sort of like intention setting practice, or even like a goal setting around the equinox, around Christmas, maybe around the new year, this could be a really good time for you to even write down like what you want to manifest, what your goals are. Maybe do like a love list, right, on an incoming relationship. That feels really important to me, setting your intentions. Like, you don't have to be, I don't know, you don't have to just be the recipient of this energy. I feel like you can be an active participant in what you want that to look like, what you want that, the next steps ahead to look like. Temperance, right? She's active here. She's like sort of actively transforming that water going between those cups. So as much as I said, yes, sit back and receive, you also, I think, can put out there to the universe what it is that you want to receive. So we have 1221, taking initiative, change, optimism, joy, communication, messages, good news, expression, high vibes. Work with what you have and it will get you places. Count your blessings and acknowledge your dear ones. You will find inspiration and figure out a way forward. You might also be getting some good news soon. I'm glad that we got that, because I think sometimes folks who maybe know just like a little bit about tarot might see the Tower card and be like freaked out by it, because it does not look like a pleasant experience, right? This tower is being blown up by the lightning and then these folks are like falling out of it. But the Tower is change, and sometimes change can be a little difficult or feel scary just because we're going into the unknown. But that's, again, where I was talking about this energy to me feels like having faith is really important. Just having faith. So again, I'm just getting that same, like, it's interesting because both of these are about action and taking the initiative. But I really feel called to say again, I do feel like there's a rest period here. And it doesn't feel very long. But there's a rest period here of kind of recovering from that negative self-talk. And then this change energy happens, and that's how you know, okay, now it's time to take action. Now it's time to take the initiative. Now it's time to move, to call someone, to ask someone out on a date, like whatever about that resonates for you. This is a cool reading. I'd love to hear about it if you're in this collective and any of this energy comes in for you. This is really cool. I feel called again to remind you, like, this is very joyful. This is a very, very beautiful energy. It feels like a gift from the universe with this Justice card here. Like I was saying, the universe is really helping you to bring things into balance. And then with that Empress and the Sun, that's such a beautiful, abundant energy. It's really, really nice. So again, like, if you know a little bit about the tarot and you think the Tower is a little scary looking, know that it just is, as I've talked about before, it's sort of dismantling anything in your life that is not aligned with your highest good, which can sometimes feel disruptive. But at the end of the day, when that process has happened, right, and then you're able to make space for the things that are for you, that's what's coming in, is that abundance and that joy and that freedom and that success. Really just being able to like sit back and receive and know your value. It's really lovely. I hope that this reading was helpful, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.